Hi guys, John the firearms instructor, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is John Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of a firearms training facility in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. If you're one of our loyal subscribers, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for following a family-owned business through their YouTube journey. We've made it, guys. We've got to that 4,000 watch hours, and the little button was switched on for monetization. Just you watching the videos supports us so much. Don't forget to like and comment if you can, if you find any value in what we're giving you. Let me tell you what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to bring out a revolver. Don't be shocked, guys. You know I'm a semi-automatic guy. But we got somebody last week that gave us a comment. What the heck? You're not going to do any videos on revolvers? We're about to do one today. If you don't know what a revolver is, obviously you come out underneath that rock once in a while. You might realize, but a revolver's been around a long time. And a revolver comes in three different sizes, basically, or three different styles, I should say. We have a hammerless model. We have a hammered model. And then obviously we have a hammer model, but a longer barrel. The two I showed you first would be like in the carry mode of things, and we try to do a lot of carry stuff because we are a training facility that teaches people to shoot, and a lot of people aren't using big ass revolvers anymore for much of anything. They're kind of fun and nostalgic and everything else like that, but a revolver comes in three different kind of styles. Basically, you have a hammered model, which is this is what's called a hammer here. You have the hammerless model, and then they make one called a shrouded hammer. I don't have one today, but it's open in the back that you could cock it if you wanted to, but technically it's more of a hammerless model with an exposed, bobbed off hammer. They bobbed off the hammers a lot because they didn't want the hammer to snag when they're pulling it in and out of clothes and stuff like that. Revolvers have been around an awful long time. The 6-shooters, the cowboy guns, those are single action. Most of the stuff we're going to show you today is either double action or double action only. And I'll explain that here in a second. What's the popularity of a revolver? Simplicity. It's very simple. You open the cylinder, you put a few rounds in, you close the cylinder, you pull the trigger. That's why most men think a woman should have a revolver because they're so simple and women can't rack slides. I've already proven you guys multiple times women can do anything a man can do, and racking a slide is not hard to do if you use the leverage of your arm versus your hand. That's on videos. We have a lot of those if you want to see what I mean by that. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to kind of give you a definition of the parts and pieces of the revolver. We're going to shoot three or four of these revolvers to show you what accuracy would be. You know, obviously, the longer the barrel, the more accurate the piece is going to be versus the shorter the barrel. 1.78 on most of your carry revolvers. This isn't about what revolver to buy or anything else like that. It's just a basic, dumbed down definition and how to work it, how to run it. Grip's a little different on a revolver than it is a semi-automatic. We've always talked about that thumb forward for the semi-automatic grip all the time. Well, you can't have this thumb forward in this cylinder area here. If you tried to do that there, anytime you fired this, the gases from this cylinder going through that could burn your finger, which doesn't feel good at all. So we'll show you the grip on that as well, and we'll run it each. So let's start out right off the bat and talk about what double action and single action is. So you know what, Johnny? Do me a favor. Go out and get a cowboy gun as well.
One of the 22s?
22s, yeah, and we'll show that. So John's going to go get a cowboy single action. Single action was the old time cowboy gun when you grabbed it, and the old boys were hammering the trigger, and it was making it fire. You know, Wyatt Earp and all those guys. Those were single action, which means an action has to be cocked before it's fired. Cocked before it's fired. And this is something that has to be done in a single action. This is a single action revolver. So what you have is a cylinder that you open up, you cock it back, you load them up, and then you're going to cock it. It has to be cocked each time for it to fire. That's single action. And then we have double action only, which should be no hammer on here, and you just pull the trigger. That's double action. And then these are what's considered double singles. So I can pull the trigger in a double action only mode, but if I wanted to, I could cock it. And what does that do? I want you to watch right here at the trigger on how much this trigger comes back. Ready? Try to keep my finger out of the way of it. Do you see what happened right there? That took all the poundage out of this trigger, which makes it very light. And then a slow trigger engagement at that point in time. When would we do that? Well, if you're at the range trying to sight the thing in or feeling comfortable, but realistic in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, you never want to cock it. You'd always want to run double action as much as possible. A lot of guns come this way, double, single, and then most of your carry guns nowadays are either going to have a hammer. Like this is a Taurus. I think this is a Taurus 856. Now 856 is full metal gun. This is heavy. This is going to be challenging to carry on a regular basis. But what's missing for most of your revolvers is any kind of real sighting system, because you have a valley and a blade. And that valley and blade need to be lined up so this blade here is not higher than that valley. Kind of got it?
Yeah. It's hard to see, but that's also because there's not anything there.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those deals. Again, we talk about level gun shoots level, and most likely that's what I'll do today, but to kind of give you an idea. Now, there are revolvers that do have sights on them. There are Ruger makes a one that has a beautiful white front blade up there that helps you concentrate on your front post. There are some day glow and night sight ones as well, so they have sights for these, no problem. But this 856 is kind of heavy, so to be carrying it every day would be somewhat challenging. Compared to the Smith & Wesson Airweight. The Smith & Wesson Airweight is a hammerless model. You still have your blade in assembly, and you still have your front blade and you have your valley, but this thing here is ultralight, man. Now, ultralight seems like it's a great idea, but you've got recoil management we have to deal with. The lighter the gun is, the more recoil you're going to have, or vice versa. This isn't a gun you're going to come to the range and shoot 500 rounds out of, you understand. This is a protection gun, but it's going to be very lightweight. So if you want to put it on your side or carry it. I don't know if you could pocket carry that. Maybe you could in the right kind of pants or anything else like that.
Kind of pockets.
But, huh?
If you got your pockets, you could.
Yeah, but it kind of work this more in a holster situation. Holster situation would be a lot easier to run that with, and it gives you the ability to pull it out of the holster and use it. Double action, single action, double single. It's not complicated really, guys. Basically, we got to get ourselves in how the trigger or how the weapon gets cocked. And, we have this big Smith we're going to shoot today. This is a beautiful piece here. They took this on trade a while back. I don't even know what this is. This is a 10-14. Probably 16 to 18 years old, in beautiful shape. But you notice there again, we only have that valley and that front blade. So we're really going to have to bury that front blade and not shark fin it. If this blade is high, the gun's going to shoot high. If this blade is low, the gun's going to shoot low. So we want to try to keep that gun level as well. Remember, it's all about using your waist to get there, not really the actual sights. You don't want to bend your wrist to aim the gun. So that's that. Now let's talk about the proper grip. And this is going to be very important because we need to be able to control the grip. And I do a cross thumb revolver grip is what I call it. A lot of guys do a lot of different stuff, and I'm going to demonstrate both of these for you. I see some. We're going to take the big gun. You will see this, John?
Yeah, I'm going to come in a little closer.
Okay. So there is a bury thumb method. Well, it's this right here. Now that's okay, but what's happening here is this hand is not touching the firearm at all. It's out here squeezing, and we're trying to get a decent amount of pressure on this. And when you start pressing with this thumb here, you tend to want to dip the gun a little bit. So I'm going to show you the cross method. And the cross method gives us two options for. We're going to put our thumb here and bring our hand down here. Now this allows me this kind of grip right here, which will allow me to control the gun down a little bit, as well as, watch this, I can cock it with this thumb if I wanted to as well. So this grip is what I kind of recommend for most people, due to the fact it keeps your hand away from any of the slide stuff here as well, or any of the gases are going to come up, and it gives more control with the squeeze of the trigger. And every time you squeeze the trigger, gun's going to want to recoil. Again, you want to lock out your wrist the best you can with these. They are not, it's not a soft shot at all. Now I'm shooting 38s today. That little one there that John went out and got was a 22. What do they make revolvers in? They make revolvers in a lot of different calibers. Now most people are carrying you 38 or 357. If you're going to look for a revolver, I probably recommend looking for a 357, because a 357 will shoot a 38 versus a 38 won't go in a 357. If that makes, I mean, a 357 won't go in a 38 chamber, but the 38 will go in the 357 chamber. So you have two calibers for one gun. And a lot of people don't want to shoot that high velocity 357 for range time.
That's because they're longer. The bullets are longer.
They're just powder. This is powder difference. Minute little circle differences too, but the barrel is about the same. It's kind of a one's just a little bigger than the other. Sure. So it's hard to give you that. But a lot of guys will buy a 357 because it'll allow you to shoot both calibers. You want to get the most out of what you're doing at the range, and if you're building a big flinch because you're worried about the recoil management of the 357, it may cause you to anticipate recoil and do a lot of pull downs and things like that. So we're going to demonstrate a couple of shots with these, each one of these. I've got that IDPA target out here. I'm going to try to put them all in that, from the circle up into the chest. I'm going to work a level gun level, and I'm going to slowly press the trigger. I am not going to cock any of these guns. I'm just going to run the double action trigger. Once we get done with there, I'm going to walk you through loading and unloading. I think this is the easiest way to do it. Shoot it first and then walk through loading and unloading. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the every other cylinder, so we're not shooting a ton of rounds here.
Okay.
So this Smith & Wesson, gives you 6 rounds, guys. And if you notice, what I did to open this cylinder is there's a cylinder lock latch right here. Now every weapon has that. Cylinder latch. Cylinder latch.
Sorry, lefties.
Yes, sorry, lefties, yeah. Cylinder latch right here. Okay, each one of them has that. So what you want to do first is you want to keep the weapon pointed in a safe direction, and you want to push the latch open, and you're going to use this hand to pop the cylinder. And once you pop the cylinder, one of the easiest way to train with a revolver at a range, instead of putting a round in every cylinder, you're going to put them in every other cylinder. And this will give you a live fire, a dry fire, and it'll let you control the weapon, and you're not going to anticipate that much. And what I do is just give a little spin and close it, so I don't know if it's going to be a live round first or a dead round first. That's a great tip for you guys starting out with revolvers, because the anticipation is one of those things. And we're going to roll this trigger back as slow as we can. There is a thing called staging of a trigger. And what the idea of that is to take the trigger back, and you'll watch when I do it here. You're going to take that trigger back as slow as we can. And at a certain point, that trigger is going to get back where it's going to be the lightest trigger engagement I can. Then I'll finally focus on my sight picture and my sight alignment, and I'll cut that shot. And then I'll start it all over again, not knowing if it's going to be a live round or a dead round. Obviously, if we get 6 in there and I just shot one, I know the next one's going to be dead. But, you know, it kind of gives you that first shot awareness. It never fails. Every time we're about to do something fun and exciting, we get a phone call. We're running a business here, guys. So we are a live store, live range, and sometimes people want to talk to us. Sometimes we need to sell stuff. So I apologize about that. We were about to shoot the Revolver, and I wanted to go through the fundamentals with you. I kind of showed you in the video just a little bit ago how to load. We have 3 rounds in this of 38. I am going to run this double action only, which means just pulling the trigger through. I'm going to keep the gun level, and we're going to work on this IDPA target out here. And it's at, you know what? Let's put it out a little bit further. At about, that's the 5-yard mark. And we'll work this and show you. I'm going to shoot each one of these at that mark to show you that a revolver, no matter what size the barrel, is pretty accurate. Hopefully I can, you know how it goes with me shooting, guys. Once in a while there's some stuff, but you know, I promised you before I'd never hide anything or any of my inaccuracies or anything else like that. I think it's important you guys realize that even the best of us do miss once in a while. But I think I got this. All right, Johnny, you ready, buddy?
Yep.
I am going to put this out here in front of me. I'm going to talk to you guys while I'm doing this. I'm not going to look at the camera. John, you can see okay?
Yeah, I'm looking at your hands for the first couple shots.
All right, so if you look here, I'm squeezing here. My finger's off the trigger. I'm about to press through, and I'm just going to slowly press that trigger until the weapon fires. All right? Slowly press the trigger until the weapon fires. Slowly press the trigger until the weapon fires. Slowly press the trigger till the weapon fires. Slowly press the trigger till the weapon fires. Alright, so that's 3 shots there. Now, we know we only have 3 in this, but I always recommend when you're shooting a revolver that, let's say you have 5 rounds in it, you want to engage the trigger twice more to kind of give you that good cadence of a trigger engagement. So put it out in front of me, roll that trigger back, roll that trigger back one more time. All right, now we're empty. We know we're empty because we only have 6 shots. We shot the thing 7 times, so we know we've gone through the cylinder. I'm going to push the cylinder latch. I'm going to lift here, open it up. There we see the dipples. I don't know if you can see that.
Bring it a little closer.
The dipples and the bullets.
Yeah, we can see it.
Now, you're going to take your hand, grab in here, tilt it up just a little bit, and push this button. Do you see that button?
Your hand covered it when you pressed it.
So I'm going to do it like this.
Yeah, okay.
This pulls the bullets out, all right? Now, this here is called the star. And each revolver has something like this, except that single action one, and I'll explain that to you. But the star pulls the bullets out to a point. Now you can hand load a revolver all day you want. They make fast, quick loaders you can put in these as well. You know, you may not have all that equipment when you need it, so you need to make sure you know how to use it. So there we go. That is the longest barrel we had. I think I got 2 in the circle, 1 in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The last one was a little high.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I'd rather be high than low. Okay, so now we grabbed the Taurus product. This one here is pretty cool because it has 6 rounds as well. So a lot of revolvers are 5 rounds. Taurus always gives you that extra little bit of rounds in here. Now this one here is just got the short barrel in it, and we're going to do this the same way. Now let me show you how I'm going to do this lefty, because a lot of people think a revolver is not meant for a left-handed person, but you can still do it lefty by just taking it and holding it here, turning the cylinder, closing it here, turning the cylinder one more time, and closing it here. And then you just close it up just like that. All right. So I'm going to shoot. Should I try to shoot left-handed?
If you want.
Yeah, I'm going to try to shoot left-handed with this, guys. Okay, just to show the revolvers can. I might as well, right?
Yeah.
Revolvers can. They have an excuse too. So.
Yeah. Then we just don't tell them which ones you shot this time. So if you miss next time, they don't know.
So now I got that grip going again. I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to press through. I'm going to press through. Press through. Press through. All right. And then we do 2 more just to make sure. All right, beautiful. Now, open it back up. Watch this. Lefty. Push it. Pop it. Lift it. Dump it.
Drop it. Push it, pop it, lift it, drop it.
Yeah. All right. John's going to get the door, so you and I are together right now, okay?
All right, I'm just going to back you up so you've got room.
All right. So that was pretty good. I'll take that. So let's go ahead and shoot the Smith & Wesson Airweight. Smith & Wesson Airweight is a lighter alloyed aluminum frame. And then you have five in this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then put 1, 2, and then 3. You can still do the mix up. You're just going to have them off cased a little bit. They're not going to be exactly even. Like when the 6 shots, you can put 3 in. But this, you got 3 in and a 5 hole. So you got a couple of them that are dead. Spin the revolver. All right, let's do this. I'm going to get my hands. I'm going to hold here. I'm going to push through. And I'm going to try to get the shots out. Not knowing if it's going to be live or dead. There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. Now, a lot of times when you're going to pull these cylinders out, pull these rounds out, sometimes they stick a little bit. You got to grab them. So when you're at the range and you're shooting a revolver, if you can look here how I left them open with the cylinders open like that, that's going to be very helpful for you. You notice all these are pointed down range. Now a single action revolver, and I'm just going to show you this. This is one of our ones we use here at the store. It has what's called a trunk on it, and you're going to open this up. And there's a term, don't go around half cocked, because half cock allows this cylinder to spin. Okay? And as the cylinder spins, you're going to put a round in each one of these holes. And then once you closed it, you're going to do exactly the same thing, but because this is single action, you're just going to reach up and cock it with your hand, hold it up in front of you, and engage the trigger. I didn't put a 22 in there. And then once you're done with that, you're done with all 5, I think this holds 6 shots. You're going to open this cylinder trunk again, put it at half cocked, and then they have a lever button right here that allows you to push these out. It kicks it out, it kicks it out, and you just do that over and over again. Not the fastest thing in the world, but a kind of fun little reactionary thing that you can do with it. That's one of the safety guns. That's one of the safety pieces that you have there, guys, because that actual single action revolver has a true safety on it. It's a lever mechanism. You turn it on, it actually has a safety on it. Wouldn't use one of those for home defense, though. Well, I guess if you didn't have anything, you probably could. But at the end of it, you want to make sure you have something else besides that, because it's hard to load and unload. One of the things I want to tell you, too, and this is another secret. Let's see if we can see this. So, when you're engaging this trigger, guys, I want you to watch the cylinder on this. Some roll. See that cylinder's going this direction? Okay. That's going that direction. There are some of the revolvers, guys, that it may go the opposite direction. So you want to, why is that important to us? Is because a lot of times people don't feel comfortable having a revolver in their home with one in the chamber. So they're going to leave an empty chamber.
You got to know which way it's going to roll.
We got to know which way it's going to turn. Yes, exactly. And there are a couple manufacturers. I think, thinking about this, I think Charter Arms goes the opposite direction. There's a couple different ones. So what calibers do they make a revolver in? You name it, they make it. There is the Judge, which is 410, 45 long Colt, which are big bullets. Big. That's just like a shotgun. The 410 is a shotgun shell. And the 45 long Colt, they make 44s, 38s, 357s, they 22s, 32s.
What's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one?
Those are the 500 Smith & Wesson, the big ones. They make all kinds of stuff. Defensively wise, most people are carrying either a 38 or a 357. Some people carry 22 Magnums, and some carry 22s. Is a revolver going to replace a any kind of semi-automatic pistol? I don't believe so, because the capacity we can get in some of these new hybrid models like the Smith & Wesson Shield or the SIG 365, all those guys are 13 or 14 rounds. You know, the only thing, the 22, you get 8 rounds in a revolver, so that's getting kind of close. But we know a 22 and a milk jug full of water is going to poke a hole in it. If I shoot the milk jug with a 9mm, even a 380 or a 25, that milk jug's going to go to pieces. So the hydrostatic pressure of a bigger bullet's going to make a difference, especially in the defensive situation. Where is a revolver going to work the best for you guys? Is when you have to wear a jacket. Now we're in Florida, and we don't wear jackets very often, but you guys up north, you can put one of these in your pocket. Where's the advantage of a revolver? If I had to shoot a revolver through my purse or through my handbag or man bag, what's that? Merce. If I had to shoot the revolver through my man bag, the Merce, or if I had to put it through my jacket pocket, the revolver will run all 5 rounds. Semi-automatic pistol, you cannot. The slide's going to come back once, and once your jacket jams up that slide from going forward, it becomes so much of a challenge. Do I recommend you go out and get a revolver? Yes, I do. I think everyone should have an arsenal. I think you should have a small pocket gun. I think you should have a revolver. I think there's simplicity on all this stuff. I think you have a semi-automatic. I think you could have all. There's not one gun for everybody, but there are definitely abilities to add to your portfolio. Portfolio is a fun name, guys. That means you're adding to stuff. You need to shoot it just like everything else. You need to practice with it. The more you do, the easier it becomes. Let's pull this forward and see how I did. Now what's funny is the 3 Smiths up here, I had that down way down here.
Really?
And it was shooting high. Now, obviously, I'm telling you that gun shoots high, and I had the blade buried exactly like I did with everything else, and it just that's where it impacted. Now, obviously, there's weapons are going to like certain bullets, and maybe it just doesn't like this bullet for some reason or another. One last thing we'll talk about is that a lot of revolvers now are what's considered plus P. Plus P is a high pressure round. Some of the revolvers don't recommend it. Some of the revolvers do. I would highly recommend, if you're going to carry a revolver, that you always carry hollow points in it, and that you make sure that you are somewhat proficient, because technically this is a point and shoot weapon, ladies and gentlemen. The whole reason why there's no sights on it is because we are going to just look through that weapon into the center mass of the bad guy and put rounds. Remember, the vital triangle starts at the shoulders and goes to the groin. It's not about bullseyes. It's about contacting in this area. Whether the bullet hit here or here, I still won, if that makes sense. Get out, try a revolver, add one to your portfolio. I think it would be beneficial for you. What's the cost factors on revolvers? They can go all over the board, guys. There are, Kimber makes one. Taurus makes, Taurus is probably the most economical one you can put your hands on. There are a couple different manufacturers that make inexpensive revolvers. You're looking adding a revolver to your portfolio in a new, if you bought brand new, you're anywhere from $350 to, if you bought a Colt, for instance, you're going to be $900, $1,100, according to what you buy, stainless or whatever it is. But you can always find used revolvers pretty reasonable. This one right here, took this in on trade, ladies and gentlemen. Look at it. I mean, it looks brand new. I don't think it's been shot. It's still got the finish on it, still got the factory finish. It's still got everything shiny, nice, new. That's almost a 4-inch barrel on there. Be a fun gun to shoot. Get out, give them a try. I think you would like it. I think it gives you something else. Sometimes you just don't feel like putting that big gun on, and you just want to throw something in your pocket. When I started pocket carrying, it changed my whole world. It allowed me to carry almost every day. Well, when I had to actually put my belt on, especially on a Sunday when I want to dress down a little bit, I can just put that little 9mm Diamondback in my pocket and walk around town, no problem. Still could do that with a revolver as well. Until next time, God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line of defense. Guys, don't forget about our Tuesday Night Live. This one's coming up is going to be probably all the secrets I have about handgun accuracy, and I'm going to give it to you in one night. And I guarantee, it's going to improve your accuracy. All right? Until next time, I love you guys.